Oh, the weather outside is frightful. But
Welcome back to The Price of Business. We couldn't find a better song to talk about how the week has gone. Of course, this week has included an incredible storm that even hit my house. And, it's so strange to walk out in your neighborhood, and there's only like 3 or 4 houses that are all affected, and you're one of the lucky lottery winners. I'm grateful that my house wasn't destroyed. Very, very close friends of my wife and I lost, apparently are losing their home, and they definitely lost a car. And so, I'm trying to focus on the gratitude side, but this is the second time for us to get hit by this kind of 500-year flood weather. How do you get hit twice with 500-year flood weather when you're only 50-something years old? I don't get the math.
Yeah, it's that new Common Core math, apparently.
Yeah. I grew up in a generation, by the way, where they developed new math, so-called new math and new arithmetic.
Me too, yeah.
Which they said ruined anyone's ability to actually learn math. There's this whole several years of aged people that the number of people in the math field is smaller than any other generation.
Right.
It's because they went and learned math when I did.
Do you remember?
But this is even weirder than that stuff.
Do you remember Saturday Night Live when Dan Aykroyd did the new English? Not new math, but it was the new way of new alphabet.
New alphabet?
And like LMNO has been just made into LMNO. And so light would be eleminoid. It was hilarious because it's just so absurd.
So new math-ish.
Yeah, and they came out with that during the whole new math craze. So now I need to turn off the eleminoid.
The eleminoid, yes, because it's got an eleminoid.
I will never forget that. It's so ridiculous.
Eleminoiding, sorry.
That's right. It's eleminoiding outside. So, what's the next step for you?
Well, we're now just waiting to see. We had a home that we owned for many years and decided not to own for a while, and so we're renting, which is a great thing to be in that position rather than an owner. Only lost a few items. But we're now waiting to see if there's going to be mold, and
clearly the tenant law is in your favor here. They've got to take care of, no matter what the cost, they've got to take care of it, right?
Yeah, but we've had a conversation. We're bolting if there is mold, and they know that, and they're cool with that, and he's going to give us our deposit back and wish us well.
But what I'm saying is they have to take care of the mold. I mean, that's just part of the deal.
Right. Yeah, but we don't want to wait for that process.
I see.
We don't want to live in a house that's going through that process.
Yeah.
And so we're going to bolt if that happens.
No, I gotcha. So, well, they at least hit like.
So if you got a house for rent, give me a call.
Well, are they at least calling ServPro to come take care of?
They're doing all kinds of good stuff, but my gut tells me we're going to probably be okay, but it's it's going to be probably another 4 or 5 days.
Oh boy.
Before we'll know for sure.
Well, in another 4 or 5 days, we may all be underwater.
Yeah, see, that's the part that scares me.
Because there's supposed to be more rain coming, and I live down near the Brazos River, and that's supposed to crest on Saturday. So, we'll see how that shakes out for me. Right now, we've got a levee it says that it's going to take care of any of the water and still have 6 feet of clearance left. But I'm hoping these people didn't learn their math during the new math days. Because I'd hate to think that they miscalculated.
Yeah, you and me both. It's a very, very scary situation with Allison, which we lost our home in Allison. What was interesting is that there was a certain period of time that hit big time where most of the damage was done. And then the thing just kind of lingered and never really went away.
It just kept scooping up water from the Gulf.
And then all of a sudden, after 5 days after the major damage, it just hit us again.
Oh, no.
3 houses in the neighborhood got hit. Ours was one of those 3 houses. And so, we're not even through yet, buddy.
Have you played the lottery?
Yeah, that's what my son said. My son's like, hey, with your math luck, you ought to play the lottery. It's like, rarely does it work that way.
No. No. And then you have to think, is it sins of the father? Like, what? What's going on in my life? What have I done wrong? But I'm just hoping, I pray for the people that have been affected, that have been, have lost lives, lost property. There were a lot of people affected, and I just hope that the worst is over.
Speaking of people with math problems, I was noticing this week that George Pataki and Rick Santorum decided to run for president.
Yeah,
How's that for a segue?
between the two of them, I think they might get about 5% of 1%.
Yeah, Rick Santorum will remind you that he came second, and not that distant of a second, to Mitt Romney in
2008.
In 2012.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's right, 2012.
Yeah, he really
Right.
he went all the way. He went
John
all the way
McCain
to
was
the
2008.
South before he got eliminated. First of all, he went all
Yeah.
the way to the South before he got eliminated. Second of all, the primary is now changed. The primary season is now changed to favor someone with an evangelical bent. Is what the pundits are saying. No, it's true. It's true. They've moved some of the deepest South states closer earlier to February. It's like March now, early March, where those are being done. So it's a different animal.
Okay, you're saying in terms of when the primaries occur that it might be, okay, I'm telling you right now, the political landscape, the cultural landscape has changed in such a way that anyone with an evangelical bent to their campaign is dead. They might as well carry their own cross from day one.
Are you seeing that in the GOP as well?
Oh, yes. Gay marriage has completely changed the culture. And if the GOP doesn't get on board with that, with the fact that the vast majority of Americans are now okay with the idea of gay marriage, that boat has sailed, okay? And you don't want to be on the Titanic. And anybody who is a GOP candidate that is saying gay marriage is wrong and that's going to be a major part of their platform, they're toast. They've just hit that iceberg.
I'm hoping they're more sensible than that, because I don't believe in gay marriage. I believe in Adam and Eve rather than Adam and Steve. But I have enough sense to say I would leave it to the states. I would like to see the states deal with this issue.
I would like to see
the federal government.
I would like to see the government
get out of marriage
business.
entirely. That's what I would like to see, actually. I agree with that, and I've been advocating that position because I believe in liberty, and although I believe in I have a very Christian biblical view of marriage, I believe that that now the encroachment now is so huge that it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone to have a position that's going to have any stand. And the government should really, marriages were happening long before the government sanctioned them.
Right.
Let that continue to happen. But I'm telling you, we're getting into a situation where serious churches that people take seriously, aren't even going to stay tax exempt because they don't want the control that ultimately comes with tax exemption. That's how scary it's becoming.
Yeah, you'll see tax exemption go out the window for churches here in the next 2 decades. That's my guess.
True.
That's my guess. I think it'll take about 20 years, but it'll follow suit. First comes the gay marriage, then comes the lawsuits forcing the church to provide gay marriage, and then the churches are going to say, you know what, we're out of the game. We're going to just have to say no more tax exemption so we can make our own rules and not get shut down. And it's gonna come to that point. It's already happening in England. It'll happen here. I think it already happened in Canada.
This is from Real Clear Politics. One sign of the early activity is that the evangelical primary is already in full swing. According to network exit polls in 2012, self-identified evangelical Christians comprise 51% of the votes cast in Republican presidential preference primaries and caucuses. So no one seeking the GOP nomination in 2016 can afford to ignore this dynamic and vital constituency.
Here's what they're not saying is the actual numbers. They're saying 55%, but the numbers are dwindling. So there are less people
51%.
voting. 51%, but there's less people voting. And so even though the more, shall we say, the zealots are out there voting, it doesn't mean that there's going to be enough Republicans voting to, stave off any attack from a Democrat, a strong Democrat candidate. And make no mistake, Hillary Clinton is a machine. She is a very strong Democrat candidate. And so
I think she's not.
whoever the GOP, well, because the media is going to be behind whatever Democrat is out there.
That's true.
And so she's got the money. She's got the money. She's got the people who are willing to put in the big donations, and she's got the media. And she's got the idea of, we want a woman president. We've had a black man. We've had a black man twice. Now it's time for a woman. And Hillary Clinton is rising to the top of that.
I think she is. I think other than Bush, any top-tier GOP candidate could beat her other than Bush. Bush versus Clinton, that just can't bode well. That's got 1992 written all over it.
Absolutely, it does. But I honestly think that the GOP, no matter who they field, are going to have a really, really tough time this go around. And even with Carly Fiorina, even if it was, womano y womano, it would not go well for the GOP.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And another part of this entire narrative here that I thought was interesting, again, this is at Christian Post. It's pointing out that, where did I see that? Very interesting. The 2014 midterm elections confirmed that the persistent and enduring potency of the evangelical constituency in American politics. According to a post-election survey by Public Opinion Strategies, Christian conservatives and evangelicals comprised 32% of the electorate, voting 86% Republican and 12% for Democrat candidates. They were the largest and most vibrant single voting bloc in the midterm electorate, larger than the African American, Hispanic, Union, and gay votes combined.
Yeah, I know. But again, I have a hard time believing that they're going to, first of all, pick an evangelical, like, Mike Huckabee. He's an evangelical, right? You think that he's going to do well against Hillary Clinton in a general election?
Yeah.
No, I think in a general, I don't know. I mean, I don't consider him a top-tier candidate, though. But who's evangelical?
Of the top-tier candidates, there is no pure evangelical.
That's my point.
But there's a Scott Walker who is clearly strong in he's Reagan-type strong in his belief, and that was strong enough to get the evangelicals excited. And so I think a Scott Walker could easily go toe-to-toe against a Hillary Clinton.
Here's my thought. This is my take. I'm going to give you my prediction right now. Okay, Sarah Jessica Parker. No, it's another three named lady. Oh, yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Well, you're like a bad game show.
Yeah, it was a joke. But anyway, when she came out and she did her little speech a couple of weeks ago, and she hinted because she was at a gay wedding. She was officiating or something, a gay wedding, right? And she hinted that it was going to be constitutional. So I think at the end of June, you're going to come out, you're going to see that the Supreme Court has made it constitutional for gay marriage. Once that high watermark has been met, you're going to have a tidal wave of momentum shift to the Democrats. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a fervor and an excitement in the Democratic Party that you haven't seen in decades, probably since the Civil Rights Movement. So you're going to see anybody get just, I hate to make the flood reference, but washed away by the gay marriage momentum. And any GOP candidate that is seen to be anti-gay marriage is then going to be completely and utterly destroyed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
And no amount of insurance will cover that. So,
okay, this analogy is going too far. I'm going to wrap it up with that point. It'll be interesting to see. I for one, think that it's going to be fairly typical, something we have seen for generations. Candidates run on the right, including social right, to get the nomination, and they become extraordinarily moderate as they get closer and closer to November. We're going to see that from any of them.
Oh, sure.
And that's why you're going to see guys like Rand Paul and guys like Ted Cruz not make it all the way. They simply can't do it.
Rand Paul, there's nothing right about that guy.
No, I know. Not on. Well, actually, that's not entirely true.
Well, when it comes to the foreign policy stuff.
Right. But he's a social conservative, which people don't seem to realize that, except for on the whole marijuana deal. He wants the states to handle that deal. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see. We'll be having more conversations as we get moving along here, obviously. Fish and Wealth Management, emerging market communications, played a big role in today's program. Want to thank both of them. Great show. It was good being back in the studio after a few days of, quote, being off.
Welcome back.
Thanks. And look forward to being back tomorrow, actually Monday, for another Price of Business. Have a great day and spend it right here on this station.